to do well.
Okay, and the other thing that, as I mentioned, I think the punters suffer from, if I move you across to the side here, is just an instinct, basically. When you first pick up any racket or cricket bat and you imagine you want to get the ball up in the air, all of us would tend to lean back onto our right side, attack the ball from underneath and strike the ball on the way up. So hit a tennis ball up in the air this way, right side, swing below the ball up and strike it that way. If we do that in golf and follow the same instinct, then obviously it's very dangerous to do so because, as this club demonstrates, we've got the arc there. That's the natural angle of attack as the club comes into the ball. But as you can see, if I lean backwards and start to behave as if I was using that tennis racket in driving it up, the arc lands too early, hence this gentleman striking the ground before the ball. And as you can see, if I address the club there behind the ball, I'm going to top that ball. That ball is only 1.68 inches tall, and if you hit the top half of it, it isn't going to take off. So by leaning back and trying to encourage the ball in the air, you are going to cause yourself a problem. Just a little exercise that the club golfer can do to try and get them out of this habit that we've talked about, where they're focused too much on trying to lift the ball into the air. You've got to get used to the idea that you're actually just trying to strike something. You're not trying to lean back and lift it in the air, you're just trying to hit it. So if you go along and practice, as I'm going to get David to do here, hit the tee peg. Obviously, you're not focused on lifting it because there's no requirement to do so. Hit the tee peg, hit the tee peg, hit the ball. So go through that exercise for me, David. Okay. So your mindset now should be just to hit the tee peg. You're not focused on trying to lift anything, leaning back onto that right side and hitting up. You're just focused on making contact with the tee peg. And if you can train yourself to do this and then go into the ball and follow exactly the same instinct. Let's do this with David. So exactly the same thing. David's now going to think about hitting the ball. He's going to forget about trying to lift it, help it in the air. That's very destructive. Just sweep the ball away. And once again, we can see it works beautifully. So get away from the idea that you're trying to lift that ball. It's not your job. We have angle on the club face, which is responsible for getting the ball in the air. If you try and go underneath it and attempt to lift it, you'll either hit the ground or top the ball, neither of which are any good.